filling you up with hope. And I just wanted to come on here and check in about our devotionals, and I hope you guys are doing yours. Today's was good, like super eye-opening. It is on the infinite God, like God's attribute of being limitless. Specifically, it says He is limitless and far above our comprehension. I don't know. I think everyone needs to do this devotional. But anyway, they quote Romans 11:33-36. Oh, the depths of the riches, both of the wisdom and the knowledge of God. How unsearchable His judgments and how untraceable His ways. For who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been His counselor? And who has ever given to God that He should be repaid? For from Him and through Him and to Him are all things. To Him be the glory forever. Amen. So, I don't know. And then it asks these questions. In what ways are you aware that you do not possess this attribute? I, a little struggled. I started to read this last night, and then I needed to, think about it, because I don't know. I didn't know then, and so I'm glad that I did wait, because just thinking, getting to think about it and really, get my mindset correctly, I needed, to sleep on it, essentially. And then I was able to really answer it. And I put, I am not in control. And oftentimes I feel stuck, caged in, weak, like a bird in a cage. I want to experience so much freedom, joy, love, rest, peace, laughter, calmness, travel, exploration, but I am stuck. It's frustrating and painful but because of God, there is a hope that someday I'll get to see God Himself. I'll experience Him, and all His desires will be fulfilled. And it is I'm sure everyone feels that way, especially this day, right? We talk about social media all the time, but because comparison is such a root of ungratefulness and pain, right? It's hard to see what you do possess. And our pastor preached on this again yesterday about how some people are not given the gift of wealth, and we just have to be able to trust God. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. Don't we all want the big mansion? We all know I do. Except that it's funny. I say that all the time, right? I want a big mansion. No, I don't. I always say I want a small cabin. But you know what I mean. I want a Range Rover. That's my thing. I want a Range Rover someday, which is a complete waste of money. You can buy basically you can buy a very cheap house nowadays, but you can buy a house for a Range Rover. And my lease, I leased a car when Alex was a tiny baby, because the car I had was old and it was starting to need work, and I just didn't have the ability to be able to have a car in the shop with a 3-month-old. I think she was 3 or 4 months old at the time. And so I prayed about it, and I kind of happened to fall onto this Jetta that was $204 a month to lease it, and all the services were paid for and everything like that. But my lease is up, so I went back to the dealership. I did a ton of research, and I had put I prayed about it, and I thought about it and mulled it over, and I had said to the guy, here's my top limit, budget wise, and I was I don't want to go over this, and I certainly would like to go under it. Well, they gave me the cheapest option, and it is kind of fancy. So anyway, it's just funny that how your desires change when you put God in the front. You don't want to be in debt, and you don't want to be in so much pain, and And so trusting him and understanding like you're in a season and you're here for a purpose is so powerful, and it's so freeing. And then the next question says, how are you sometimes tempted to live like you are infinite? And I put, again, I get frustrated by not being able to experience all I feel this life has to offer. And it's easy to want to take the reins, to take control, stop waiting on God. However, I don't have the energy that God does. I don't have the wisdom or the knowledge or the trust in myself and my abilities. So waiting on God's direction and trusting his wisdom is safe and the smartest choice. I'm grateful to have him because I'd fail. And it's true. I mean, waiting on God's timing and just trusting him above ourselves might feel like in our sinful nature, right? In our sinful nature that feels like we are infinite in wanting to be in control, feels like the weak. Kind of like as I was writing this, I'm like, man, it sounds like I'm weak in this society, but I'm not. Trusting on God is the strongest and the safest, but also the bravest choice because of what society and our sinful nature tells us we should be doing. And God will not let us suffer for long. You know, one of these days we will be seated at the right hand of him. And that is more. On my mirror in my bedroom, which I can't show you right now because Alex is sleeping, it says, do you want a kingdom here on earth, or do you want to be in God's kingdom? Because you can't have both. And that is why having God to rely on is so much better. It's so much better because then we're not constantly in this pursuit of more. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it's tiring, and it's not safe. It's not the safe choice. So I'm just so glad. I'm just so grateful for this study, and I'm grateful that I'm actually a little grateful. Like at first I was sad that Abby and I were taking a break, but I'm grateful that we are taking a break. Because then we get to like dig into this. And also her and I, like, obviously we talk every day, multiple times a day. We're ridiculous, but I'm so grateful for her. We talk about our podcast and we talk about the things that we want to do, and it's just given us a lot more, like a break and some more time to research like some really good things that we want to dig into. And we're so excited to come back after this break and after her move and she gets settled in, and then, you know, that gives me so much time to do this and to really dig in. And we have some exciting things coming that we've been dreaming about for this, and God just gave us like the ideas, and I'm just so grateful. So I can't wait to share all of that with you. But anyway, I pray that you're enjoying this break and enjoying your devotionals, and comment below what you guys are doing for your devotionals. I know Leanna's doing this now too, the attributes of God. And so I can't wait to really start talking to her about this because it's a good study.